Have you ever had one of those moments where reality just doesn't line up with your memory? Where you know, not think, not imagine, but know something happened, and yet somehow it never did. Maybe it's a movie line that was definitely there. Maybe it's a celebrity you know died years ago, but apparently they're alive and posting wedding photos on Instagram. Welcome back to Nightly Haven, where we step into a space between memory and reality. Tonight, we're just not talking about false memories. We're diving into what may be one of the strangest phenomena of our time, the Mandela Effect. Fear tingles down your spine and hairs stand on end. Mysteries unknown and tales in the dark. Are you ready? Hello? Part 3, When Reality Rewrites Itself. Now, let me say, if I do cover stuff that I've already covered in the previous other 2 videos, I apologize, but let's dive in. Let's start with one that personally broke my brain. Do you remember hearing that Macaulay Culkin, yes, the mischievous, wide-eyed kid from Home Alone, had died of an overdose in the early 2000s? 'Cause I did. I remember the news stories, the online mourning, even vague flashes of MTV tributes. People talking about how tragic it was, how he joined the child star curse. But here we are in this reality, and Macaulay Culkin is alive and married, a father, and thriving. Was it a hoax? A media mix-up? Or something far stranger? A memory from a different timeline bleeding into this one. Now, you might say, well, Nikki, maybe it was just bad reporting. And here's the kicker. Millions remember the same story. Not 1 or 2 people, whole online threads, decades old, filled with condolences and detailed recollection that never happened. So, where do those memories come from? Now, here's one that will twist your neurons. People vividly remember visiting the Statue of Liberty on Ellis Island. They remember the ferry ride, the tour, even the gift shop there. But in this reality, the Statue of Liberty has always been on Liberty Island. And here's where it gets eerie. Some vintage photos exist showing no statue at all on the island where it's supposed to stand. Others swear the statue was damaged or destroyed in a terrorist attack during World War II. But that again never happened here, at least not in this version of history. Is misremembering geography, or are we catching echoes of reality that once was? And yes, I do know I covered this, but I can't get over it. This one blows my mind the most because it is so personal to me. The bears seen bears. Or should I say, bear a stain. It literally hurts me to say that. This one has been dissected more times than a frog in 8th grade biology. What most people don't know is that early VHS tapes, library records, and marketing promos used to call it Berenstain. It's not just misremembering, there's physical residue of old timelines. If time truly resets, perhaps not everything resets perfectly. Maybe some traces, some breadcrumbs get left behind, like scars on reality itself. Now, let's look to the heavens. Astronomers, amateurs, and professionals alike have noticed slight shifts in the constellations. Orion no longer is where it should be, the North Star appearing off-center, and the moon's tilt looking wrong compared to what they remember growing up. These aren't some random recollections. Satellite data has confirmed slight variations that can't be entirely explained by Earth's wobble or axial precision. It's as if the sky itself is rearranging. Wild. Now, raise your hand if you ever remember Queen Elizabeth II dying sometime before 2022, because a shocking number of people do. Some recall tributes, others remember global mourning, yet the Queen went on to live many more years, almost outliving the very memes about her. Are those collective premonitions? Or are we remembering an earlier version of history that didn't make it through the last reality sink? Now, let's talk why. Physicists have theories that sound like science fiction. The many worlds interpretation suggests that every decision splits into infinite universes. Every yes and every no, every stay, every go creates a new reality branch. So what if the Mandela effect happens when these branches overlap? When the walls between reality thins and fragments of one bleed into another. Quantum physics Fred Alan Wolf once said, "Consciousness is the programming language of the universe." If that's true, then perhaps collective consciousness, our memories, emotions, beliefs, shape reality itself. And when millions remember something that never happened, maybe it did happen, just not here. Now let's get ancient. The Bible often hints at strange manipulations of time and reality. Enoch taken, Elijah vanishing in a chariot of fire, the sun standing still in Joshua's day, and then there's the Tower of Babel, humanity trying to reach the heaven, a cosmic communication breakdown that scrambled language and memory alike. Was that an early reality fracture, a moment when God intervened to scatter timelines or limit our reach? Even the flood could be seen as a timeline reset, a purging of one version of humanity to begin another. What if the Mandela effect isn't new at all, but an echo of something ancient and reoccurring? And of course, we can't avoid the elephant in the collider, CERN. Many believe the Large Hadron Collider did more than discover the Higgs boson in 2012. They think it might have glitched reality itself, knocking us sideways into a near identical world. I've also heard theories that maybe our world collided with a parallel world, and that's why you find empty voids in the sky. Minor brand changes, altered quotes, celebrities alive who once weren't, the ultimate side effect of a universe reboot. Even some CERN scientists have jokingly said, "We might have destroyed the universe, but luckily it rebooted." Funny. But maybe it's not entirely a joke. What if time travelers, future humans, or something else entirely are tinkering with events? Every small adjustment could cause ripples, rewriting certain outcomes and subtly shifting what we remember. A butterfly effect at a universal scale. Change one domino in 1988 and suddenly Pikachu's tail no longer has a black tip. I'll fight you on that. Psychologists call it confabulation, when the brain fills in blanks with false memories. And here's the problem. False memories shouldn't sync across millions of people, across continents and generations, unless memory itself isn't local. Maybe consciousness connects all of us, and when the grid updates, we all remember the prior code, just slightly out of sync. So, what is the Mandela effect? A psychological quirk? Quantum entanglement of memory and time? A divine intervention? Or a cosmic computer correcting a bug? Whatever the case, it is a reminder that the universe is far stranger and far more alive than we realize. And maybe, just maybe, reality doesn't like being watched too closely, because when we notice, it changes. This has been Nightly Haven, where memory and mystery blur. And before you go, just ask yourself, are you sure this is how it's always been? If you like this kind of content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really does help the algorithm and get my videos out there. Just a mom here trying to live her dream. Have a good day, guys. Bye.